And new tonight, a local mom says that her son's diabetes diagnosis got him turned away from multiple daycares.
In a special edition of Raising the Bar, 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears introduces you to the family, asking what option parents of children with disabilities have when it comes to early education.
What is it?
A spinner.
A spinner?
Meet 3-year-old Riot.
Fan.
It's a fan. Looks like a fan.
Tell me, how old was Riot when you first received his diagnosis, and what was that like for you?
He was 2 years old. It was definitely shocking.
That diagnosis? Type 1 diabetes, which means Riot's body doesn't produce the insulin needed to convert blood sugar into energy his body can use.
It was devastating for sure. It was like my worst nightmare. And you pinch.
Lauren McPhee is a single mom and a type 1 diabetic herself. She began giving Riot his insulin.
You're all done.
And monitoring his blood sugar. Simple tasks he barely notices. That are just part of their daily routine. But a stumbling block in life turned out to be a brick wall when it came to finding childcare, as Lauren and her son were turned away time after time after time.
I would say at first 10 daycares said that they just weren't willing to accommodate. Most of them said that they just didn't have a nurse on staff, which makes me feel that they're just not familiar with it.
Those who are familiar with the challenges diabetics face say that's not uncommon.
A lot of places they're more scared of the fact that a child is type 1 diabetic and what that responsibility takes on.
But the Americans with Disabilities Act provides protections.
A child cannot be turned away simply because they're type 1 diabetic.
When Lauren asked places that turned her away to put it in writing, some said they'd reconsider taking Riot.
But others just wouldn't email me back. They wouldn't put it in writing.
An attorney tells 13 Investigates ADA laws do not require businesses to ramp up services to a level they normally wouldn't provide, which means smaller daycares with minimal staffing could argue accepting a diabetic child would create a safety issue for that child. The attorney says parents should ask daycares what accommodations they can provide and why they don't think they can care for the diabetic child. But for Lauren, those steps were excruciating.
Taking care of a 3-year-old is difficult as it is, so on top of that, the diabetes and my other responsibilities and, trying to keep my bills paid while trying to find childcare, I thought I wasn't going to see a horizon.
She pressed the issue with some daycares and thought there might be hope.
I had a facility that was willing and then saw his blood sugar go low on a tour where I had to give him some cookies. Then they had called me back and told me that they just weren't willing to do it. And then I had mentioned a previous lawsuit against discrimination, and then, she called me back within like the hour and said that they would be willing to again.
But she didn't feel safe leaving her son at a place where she had to use threats to get him in. Finally, after dozens of calls, Lauren found a daycare that would take Riot, but it came at a hefty price.
It's $1,100 a month, and that is more than my own rent. It's far out of my reach, but it's something I have to, scramble and scrape pennies in order to pay for, because otherwise I can't go to work. Oh, I don't have another option. I am his sole provider.
It's a place where Riot is well cared for and happy. Do you have friends at school? How many?
A lot.
A lot? And Lauren says the staff got training to make sure he's safe.
They were all trained by Colleen from Riot's endocrinologist. She's incredible. She went on her own time to go teach them.
Now it's as simple for them as the ABCs.
G, B, E, F, T.
This situation can be an issue for any child with a disability or medical need. Experts say one of the best things parents can do is learn your rights and don't take no for an answer without asking why. Darcy Spears, Raising the Bar.